Welcome, Libra, to your in-depth monthly forecast for March 2026. Going to share with you, first of all, some of the big themes of this month. Then on screen, your event chart as March begins. That provides a powerful backdrop for the whole of the month. I'll then go through all the influences frame by frame to give you a clear picture of what you can expect in terms of your love life, your business prospects, your finances, and your energy. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to the channel, please do so now and help it to continue to thrive. This is a month, Libra, where your ruler is going to be switching through three zodiac signs. I will review that for you. One of those moves is going to be particularly powerful. We've also got a lunar eclipse, a total lunar eclipse on the 3rd. What's the significance? Jupiter goes direct on the 11th, but Mercury is retrograde to the 20th. We get the start of the new astrological year on the 20th too. And for you, that brings relationships sharply into focus in the last 10 days of this month. But on the screen, first of all, let's take a look at the position of your ruler, Venus. Venus is in the practical 6th house, very close to the retreating Mercury, but that combination can be very good if you're wanting to do something service orientated, especially if you're working for yourself, because as long as you can overcome the blurriness that Mercury retrograde in Pisces can bring, your ability to connect to people or present things with a degree of grace, stylistically very strongly, could be very good for that particular part of your situation. But Venus is also in a strong link with Jupiter. If you did want to apply a little more detail to marshalling your daily costs, Uranus could help you to come up with some imaginative brainwaves to improve things furthermore, particularly if you are quite entrepreneurial. However, at the very start of this month, Libra, Mars is in a very tense right angle with Uranus. It's complex, because Pluto is going to be in your 5th house and has been full time since November 24 for many years to come, through to 243, then into Pisces, back to Aquarius, back to Pisces 244. And the 5th house is where you can showcase your passion, your talent, your flair, and your charisma. And Mars, along with the recent Aquarius stellium, has certainly helped you to turn up the volume on your talents. The energy in the sign of Pisces is perhaps asking you to now take those creative strands and box them into something more tangible, workable, and practical. That's good, isn't it? It's just that if you're frustrated at the pace things are going, Mars's square with Uranus could provide some friction. The friction may be around a relationship. If you feel that someone's not as sacrificing as you or not as thoughtful, could be someone you work with, that could be something that really does start to niggle. But Mars is going to move on the 2nd into your 6th house. And the great thing about Mars in the 6th house, not at its most robust in the watery Pisces, but for you in terms of your solar overlay, the 6th house can give you more stamina. And also because of the water energy, your perceptiveness together with your physical drive can be a good combination. But also see the sun's very close to the North Node at the start of the month. So instinct linked to practicality could be a good thing too. But as we go into the month, there is an opposition between the moon and Pluto. That's intriguing, that. It can create very highly charged energy, and people's moods can be very up and down. It's a kind of polar energy, particularly in natal charts. The moon in Leo is very gregarious. The position of Pluto is really suggesting that you will transform how you express your core talents. That's going to continue to be something that unfolds. Maybe there is someone in your friendship circle that you're going to find yourself drawn towards. Maybe around family stuff, there could be a bit of tension if you want to break out and spend more time with friends or doing personal interests and pursuits. I have to say, if you are a creator, or a maker, the combination of Venus and Mercury and Uranus at the start of this month suggests if you do link up with other people who have similar kind of gifts, it could prove to be enjoyable and very restorative. But on the 3rd, we do have a total lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo, continuing the series between Virgo and Pisces. So the moon is in Virgo, very much to do with precision. The sun is in the dreamy potential energy of Pisces. What does this mean? Well, I think in terms of your physical well-being, over the last couple of years with Saturn in Pisces, you may have not always felt your best. Now that Saturn's gone, pushing you to uh, be firmer on your boundaries, it's possible that you are applying some new approaches, whether it's to diet, fitness, your work, being more mindful of not getting too caught on being too sacrificing. But the energy in Virgo is much more about the practical domain. The energy in Pisces, even for you, it's the 6th house, is much more the physical domain. So for you, the Virgo energy suggests don't ignore any nudges that your inner voice tells you. So if you're trying your best to reform things, don't be too conscientious and virtuous if you're feeling weary. So I think it's a lunar eclipse, particularly around your work, which just asks you to be very mindful of boundaries. But that's where Saturn comes in. And your ruler Venus moves to join up with Saturn and Neptune on the 6th, comes into an exact conjunction around the 8th or the 9th. If a relationship isn't going well, that's a really seriously challenging aspect. And the other side of it is if a relationship does still have some potential, but you're not quite happy with some of the way things are, it's a point where you're laying down the gauntlet about what you will not agree to do. And good for you if so. But if you are wanting to apply for a new job, your prospects are very bright in the first week of this month, not only because Venus is forging that sizzling angle to Uranus, but because the sun, as he moves forwards, links to Jupiter in a potentially very lucky way. So if you're pitching for a new role or a new client, good news can come to you by the time Jupiter goes direct on the 11th, because Jupiter has been rewinding your sector of success for 4 months. So things have felt like they've been treading water. Your frustration is probably understandable, but it can start to move. Much more sociable things are coming from Jupiter later in the year, which will begin from the end of June. But that Venus conjunction with Saturn and Neptune really can tease out situations where you do need to just say it as it is. You know, that part of you that doesn't really like conflict, likes to keep things on an even keel, very skilled at tuning into what other people need. But if you felt invisible in any kind of relationship, just say, no, this is how it will be from my perspective. Have the confidence to do that. Now, it is important to be clear in your messaging on the 15th with Mercury retrograde. Mercury combines with Mars. If you ever needed something that gave you the thrust, Mars, and the potential precision, Mercury, as long as you think it through, do your research, when you deliver that message, it can be very pointed, but also being aware of the atmospheric energy of the host of Pisces. That brings us through to the 19th and the new moon. Once more, another fabulous opportunity to raise your profile with the help of Uranus this time, because what you can get is if you pitch for a new job, it may be that you've got a blend of detailing and precision, but also innovation that really does appeal to someone. Maybe you're prepared to be flexible about work from home, part-time role, working in your local community, and that is going to stand you in good stead. If you are someone with a gift around technology, it can shine brightly for sure from the 19th. The 20th sees Mercury end the retrograde, which is good. The crosswires may completely stop, but it doesn't emerge from the post-retrograde shadow to the 9th of April. So just be aware of that, particularly around things like appointments with doctors, dentists, vets, very 6th house stuff that could get snagged by Mercury's retrograde. But the 20th also sees the sun return to the start of the zodiac, Aries, And we have the vernal equinox and we have the start of the astrological year. Hugely powerful moment. And a 13-week period for you, which is very much about manifesting what you really want around relationships. Now, because of the test that Venus will undergo from Saturn and Neptune across the 6th to the 8th, maybe a weak link will have been teased out. But if you are looking for new opportunities, new partnerships, alliances, with the firm knowledge of what you won't do now, it's not about always being a good person. It's about knowing what works for you and what winds you up if people don't respect you. Because I feel that the Pluto years through Capricorn, the Saturn years through Pisces have at times been quite draining for you. And I think from that, you've learned that it's important to just say what you need, because if you do, that is what you will get reflected back to you. But it's undoubtedly the case that the Sun, as it meets up with Saturn and Neptune in the last 10 days, could again test any relationship. If it's not really working as functionally and as fairly as it should do, that will give you food for thought. Now, Venus then makes that third visit of the month to Taurus, the other sign other than you, that she rules on the 30th. And that can be about deep intimacy, but it can also be about what might end. So I think this is a month when, around relationships, it's not just of a romantic kind, it's all sorts of interactions and connections. We have it with everyone. We have a connection with ourselves. And the sixth house energy this month suggests that with flair can come opportunities, with hard work and attention to detail, opportunities. But if you give too much and it doesn't feel like it's respected or appreciated, Saturn and Neptune, particularly Saturn, can be your assets, your allies, and you're going to have to work with them. You had a taster pack last year of Neptune as 6 months, may have been a bit confusing. Saturn for just over 3 months. And maybe initially that did create some strange limitations and disappointments. But it's all about being clear about your identity and what is agreeable to you or not. And that's the best way that you can make March work for you productively. To understand how Saturn will impact on you over the next 2 years, please click on the Saturn video on the screen. Please visit us at my new website at patrickarundell.com. We've made loads of changes. It's really coming along on the second screen. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, please check out my testimonials below. You can also order your personal forecast, either in natal or draconic format. If you order the natal package, there's 50% off. Please apply Astro 26 at the checkout. If you want draconic, your soul karmic package, there's 50% off. Please apply Draco 26 at the checkout. Both provide searing insights, great value, very accurate, and totally unique to you.